بالله العلي العظيم أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه من جميع ذري وجرمي وإسرافي على نفسي وأتوب إليه. ای کشته ای که بهر تو هفت آسمان گریست آقا جانم. ای کشته ای که بهر تو آسمان در ماتم تو دیده کون و مکان گریست. مولای من گیسو پریش کرد ز داغ تو آفتاب در سوگواری تو زمین و زمان گریست. السلام علیک یا ابا عبدالله، السلام علیک یا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوسيل، السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والبتر الموتور، السلام عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار. يا أبا عبد الله، يا أبا عبد الله، لقد أظمت الرزية وجلت وأظمت المصيبة بك علينا وعلى جميع أهل الإسلام وجلت وأظمت مصيبته في السماوات على جميع أهل السماء فلعن الله أمة أسست أساس الظلم والجور عليكم أهل البيت فلعن الله أمة لفتكم عن مقامكم وأضالتكم عن مراتبكم التي رتبكم الله فيها ولعن الله أمة قتلتكم ولعن الله الممهدين لهم بالتمكين من قتالكم برئت إلى الله وإليكم منهم ومن أشيائهم وأتباعهم وأوليائهم يا أبا عبد الله يا قجاء يا أبا عبد الله إني سلم لمن سالمكم وهرب لمن هرمكم إلى يوم القيامة ولعن الله آل زياد وآل مروان ولعن الله بني أمية قاطبة ولعن الله ابن مرجانا ولعن الله عمر بن سعد ولعن الله شمرا ولعن الله أمة أسرجت وألجمت وتنقبت لقتالي بأبي أنت وأمي لقد أظم مصابي بك فأسأل الله الذي أكرم مقامك وأكرمني بك أن يرزقني طلب ثارك مع إمام منصور من أهل بيت محمد صلى الله عليه وآله اللهم اجعلني عندك وجيها بالحسين عليه السلام في الدنيا والآخرة يا أبا عبد الله يا أبا عبد الله إني أتقرب إلى الله وإلى رسوله وإلى أمير المؤمنين وإلى فاطمة وإلى الحسن وإليك بمبالاته وبالبراءة ممن قاتلك ونسب لك الأرض وبالبراءة ممن أسس أساس الظلم والجور عليكم وأبرأوا إلى الله وإلى رسوله ممن أسس أساس ظالم وبنى عليه بنيانا وجرى في ظلمي وجوري عليكم وعلى أشيائكم برئت إلى الله وإليكم منهم وأتقرب إلى الله ثم إليكم بموالاتكم وموالاة وليكم وبالبراءة من أعدائكم والناصبين لكم وبالبراءة من أشيائهم وأتباعهم إني سلمان لمن سالمكم وهرب لمن هاربكم وولي لمن والاكم وعدو لمن عاداكم فأسأل الله الذي أكرمني بمعرفتكم ومعرفة أوليائكم ورزقنا البراءة من أعدائكم أن يجعلني معكم في الدنيا والآخرة وأن يثبت لي لكم قدم الصدق في الدنيا والآخرة وأسأله أن يبلغني المقام المحمود لكم عند الله وأن يرزقني طلب ثوريكم إمام هدى ظاهر ناطقا بالحق منكم وأسأل الله بحقكم وبالشأن الذي لكم عنده أن يؤتيني مصابي بكم أفضل ما يؤتي مصابا بمصيبته مصيبة معظم وعظم رضي نيته في الإسلام وفي جميع السماوات والأرض اللهم اجعلني في مقامي هذا ممن تنالوا من صلوات ورحمة ومغفرة اللهم اجعل محياي محيا محمد وآل محمد ومماتي ممات محمد وآل محمد اللهم إنا هذا يوم تبركت به بنو أمية وابن عكلة الأكباد اللئيم ابن اللعين على لسانك ولسان نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله في كل موطن وموقف وقف في نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله الله الآن أبا سفيان ومعاوية ويزيد بن معاوية عليهم منك اللعنة أبد الآبدين وهذا يوم فرد بين آل زياد وآل مروان بقتلهم الحسين صلوات الله عليه اللهم فضاعف عليهم اللعن منك والعذاب الأليم. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك في هذا اليوم وفي موقف هذا وأيام حياتي بالبراءة منه واللعنة عليهم وبالمبالاة لنبيك وآل نبيك عليه وعليهم السلام. اللهم الآن أول ظالم ظلم حق محمد وآل محمد وآخر تابع له على ذلك. اللهم العن الأصحابة التي جادت الحسين وشايعت وبايعت وتابعت على قتله. اللهم العنهم جميعا. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. به یاد همه اونایی که تو این مسجد بودن فراز از دعا رو همه با هم میخوندیم. السلام علیک یا ابا عبدالله و علی الارواح التي هلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقيت ليل والنور بلا جعل الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي ابن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى أنصار الحسين. اللهم خص أنت أول ظالم بالله مني وابدأ بي أولا ثم الثاني والثالث والرابع. اللهم الآن يزيد خامسا والآن عبيد الله بن زياد وابن مرجانا وعمر بن سالم وشمرا وآل أبي سفيان وآل زياد وآل مروان إلى يوم القيامة. سجد. اللهم لك الحمد حمد الشاكرين لك المصابر. الحمد لله على عظيم رزيتي. اللهم ارزقني شفاعة الحسين يوم الورود وثبت لي قدم الصدق عندك مع الحسين وأصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا معزهم دون الحسين عليه السلام ورحمة الله وبرکاته. خداوند انشالله ثوابی از مجلس ما، زیارت ما، قرآن ما، سخنرانی ما، عزاداری ما به روح همه اموات خصوصا همه عزیزانی که تو این مسجدهای دیگه بودن، آقای موسوی، آقای روحانی، آقای شمس، عزیزانی که اسمشون یادم نیست، انشالله خداوند عاید و واصل کنه، عنایت کنید جهت شادی رو همشون. در معیت فاتحه یه صلوات بلند ختم کنید. اللهم صل علی
سلام علیکم و رحمت الله. آقا سمی اکو اینو روشن میکنی اگه اونجا هستی؟ صلوا علی محمد و آل محمد. انشاءالله. Inshallah, I'll be reciting a few verses from Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 197. That is page 31. صفحه 31 آیه 197 سوره مبارکه بقره. یه صلوات دیگه بفرستید.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحج أشهر معلومات، فمن فرض فيهن الحج فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج، وما تفعلوا من خير يعلمه الله، وتزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى، واتقون يا أولي الألباب. وما تفعلوا من خير يعلمه الله، وتزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى، واتقون يا أولي الألباب. ليس عليكم جناح أن تبتغوا فضلا من ربكم، فإذا أفضتم من عرفات فاذكروا الله، فإذا أفضتم من عرفات فاذكروا الله عند المشعر الحرام، واذكروا كما هداكم وإن كنتم من قبله لمن الضالين. ثم أفيضوا من حيث أفاض الناس واستغفروا الله إن الله غفور رحيم. فإذا قضيتم مناسككم فاذكروا الله كذكركم آباءكم أو أشد ذكرا. فإذا قضيتم مناسككم فاذكروا الله كذكركم آباءكم أو أشد ذكرا. فمن الناس من يقول ربنا آتنا في الدنيا وما له في الآخرة من خلاق. ومنهم من يقول ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. أولئك لهم نصيب مما كسبوا. أولئك لهم نصيب مما كسبوا والله سريع الحساب. صدق الله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tonight we are commemorating the martyrdom of our ninth Imam, Imam Muhammad ibn Ali ibn Rida al-Taqi al-Jawad alayhi salam, our condolences to the Imam of our time, Ajalallah Ta'ala Farj Sharif, and all of you mu'mineen and mu'minat. For the honor of Imam Jawad alayhi salam, please recite another salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let me just thank Haj Aghay Tahirian for the beautiful recitation of the Ziyarah Ashura. For Haj Aghay Tahirian and his family, please recite another salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We just received some notifications regarding the moon sighting of the month of Dhul Hajjah. Looks like tomorrow will be the first of the month of Dhul Hajjah. So I think we'll have some programs. I'm not sure about it yet. Maybe for Eid, not here, probably a Masjid Rasul, maybe like the other years. So stay tuned for those. I don't know if we'll have anything for the day of Arafah, but just for your information, I think the day of Eid will be on Tuesday. That will be 20th of July. So the day of Arafah will be on Monday, 19th of July. And then there are a couple of other occasions. Eid al-Ghadir will be on July 25th. I'm sorry, no, that will be July 28th. I think some of the other centers probably will be collaborating with them as well. They're organizing some other events and picnics and other things, so stay tuned. Inshallah, month of Dhul Hajjah will bring a lot of blessings and beautiful events to bring the community together again for the Salat al-Eid and other programs, inshallah. So just giving you the notice, stay tuned for all of those programs as well. We'll continue to have the in-person programs here, and we'll try to hold celebrations for the Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Qurban, and also the Eid al-Ghadir, inshallah. So without any further delay, let's invite our respected beloved scholar, Hujjatul Islam wal Muslimin, Sheikh Ahmad Modarres, with your loudest salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. الحمد لله الذي لا نفاد له ودائما الحمد لله الذي جعل الحمد مفتاحا لذكره وسببا للمزيد من فضله ودليلا على آلائه وعظمته، ثم الصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه وحبيبه حافظ سره ومبلغ رسالاته حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. صلى الله عليه وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المكرمين، سيما بقية الله في السماوات والأراضين. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن الكريم: ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه حملته أمه وهنا على وهن وفصاله في عامين أن اشكر لي ولوالديك إلي المصير. صدق الله العلي العظيم. For the honor of Mawlana wa Sayyidina Rasulullah, His Immaculate Progeny Ahlul Bayt, recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. My condolences on the anniversary of the martyrdom of our 9th Imam, Imam Muhammad al-Taqi al-Jawad alayhi salam. An Imam that his short life, which 25 years is not enough to call somebody who even did not reach his middle age due to injustice and the tyranny of the enemies who martyred his father Imam Jawad alayhi salam and continued same limitation and ultimately suppression of his light and his voice during the time of the Abbasi caliphs after Shahadat of our 8th Imam, to a degree that even he was not safe in his own house. That daughter of Ma'mun was a spy living in the house of Imam Jawad alayhi salam. And eventually she was tempted by her own family to poison her husband Imam Jawad alayhi salam, because she did not have any children from Imam Jawad alayhi salam, and Imam had other children from a different wife. And that jealousy eventually, in addition to the temptation that came from her uncle Mu'tasim and her family, led to Shahadat of our 9th Imam, Imam Muhammad Taghi al-Jawad alayhi salam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the honor of His closest servants, His most pious and virtuous servants, give us a tawfiq of acquiring and attaining taqwa, piety and virtue in our life, and help us to be generous and exercise infaq in our lifetime with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The topic that we started last week was on the concept of tarbiyah, which is ultimately about upbringing, raising children, but specifically for us as someone that we are already parents, or we will be parents one day inshallah. It's important to know what are some of the important elements that we have to keep in mind in regards of tarbiyah. And we talk about the root of the word tarbiyah. The word Rab is the root of this word. Murabbi, tarbiyah, these are all derivatives of the word Rab. And a Rab is caretaker, the one who's taking care of you, the one who's protecting you is Rab. So tarbiyah is about protecting. It's about providing for your child. Ultimately, it's about upbringing, raising them well. And there's some introductory point already made. I'm not going to go back to that. But if you remember, the last point I mentioned was, in order to learn about tarbiyah, it's important to know that it's not one single approach that is complete. We need to take care of the physical well-being and health of the child for tarbiyah. We need to take care of their emotional well-being, and of course we come to their spiritual well-being. All of them together, that balanced approach will help us to raise a better family, better children. And tonight I'm going to start with the first one, which is from the Islamic point of view. I'm not talking here as a dietitian, so don't take my word as a doctor or a dietitian. I'm not a medical expert. I don't have qualification. From Islamic point of view, what is the Islam's opinion about health and well-being of a child? Specifically when we talk about jism, which is the body, the physical well-being of a child. But before we start with that, I want to make additional point tonight, which again we talked about some points, introductory point last week, and I kind of at the end I touched on that. So I want to once again remind all of us of that, and we go inshallah to tarbiyatul jism, or the upbringing of the healthy child, from the physical point of view, from the Islamic perspective. And that point I want to make is that it's very important to know that tarbiyah, it starts from ourselves, from self first. Tarbiyatun nafs. If I'm negligent toward my own well-being, I will not be able to do a good job as a father or as a mother. That's the most important point to keep in mind. If as a mother I'm not healthy, I will not be able to do, let's call it a good job in raising a healthy child, if I'm not healthy enough myself. If I'm emotionally unstable, the chance of me raising a stable emotional child, a well-maintained child, is low. So first I have to keep in mind, it is important to take care of ourselves. That's another introductory point in tarbiyah. That's why in Quran Allah said, "Qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara." Quran said first, the word qu, also we have another derivative of the same word, another form of the verb, qina, wa qina adhab an-nar, is about protection. Is about keeping yourself safe. So Quran, Allah makes a command, an order. Qu, you have to protect yourself, anfusakum. First yourselves. First you have to be a bit selfish. You have to take care of yourself. And then ahlikum, then your family. If I cannot protect myself, if I cannot do the right thing myself, how can I do anything about my child? So that's the important point. That's why even in studies today, when they talk about happy children, whatever is, it's a very subjective word, happy, what we mean by happy, how we're measuring happiness. It's a very, as I said, not a very objective definition for it. It depends how you define it. But even in the studies that they are measuring happiness to some kind of factors, they quantify it somehow. They're saying that parents who are happy themselves, they're better capable of raising happy children. And it's not genetic, it's not because of DNA, it's not because of some biological reason that we have no control over. It's not because of that. If parents are happy themselves, genuinely happy, the chance of them raising happy children are higher. Makes sense. Makes sense. Even in Tawheed, when we talk about monotheism, we believe that because as a creation of God, we have intelligence, we have knowledge, we have mercy, we have power and strength, we have all these qualities. The one who created us must have these qualities. Otherwise, Allah would not be able to give something that He Himself is free of, or He's avoiding that Himself. So, a merciful God is capable of giving mercy. An intelligent and powerful and knowledgeable Creator is capable of giving it to the creation. And it's a very straightforward concept in philosophy. So the same thing is also about tarbiyah. If parents, they are unfortunately lacking in one of those skills that we talked about, they will not be able to bless their child. They will not be able to transfer those skills to their children if they don't have it themselves. So when we talk about tarbiyah, keep that in mind. That's why in tradition, it's mentioned that if you truly care about your child, you have to start thinking about your child when you're getting married. When you're choosing your spouse, the spouse selection, it matters. Because you're choosing a wife or husband, and also you're choosing the father of your child, your future child, the mother of your future child. Because you are half of the equation. If you are the best father in the world, the other part is from the mother. If you're the best mother in the world, the other part is the father. So you have to keep that in mind. It's kind of a very futuristic consideration, but you should. But now again, you decided you have the child, and you keep in mind that this is a personal endeavor, and I have to take care of myself as well. Now we come to the physical well-being of a child. In Islam, the word we refer to well-being of the body and jism, there are two words that we use usually. One is sihha. Sihha is also in other language, they kind of use it from Arabic term. It's about well-being, is about health. Another word that we are also familiar with is afiyah. Afiyah is vague, and it could be about not only physical well-being, it could be about other aspects of our lives. But sihhatul jism specifically, is about well-being of the body. And it's important because even in our prayers, we ask Allah for a healthy body and jism. In dua, Abu Hamza Thumali, from Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam, we're asking Allah for certain things. Allahumma a'atini, oh Allah, bless me, honor me with sa'atan fil rizq, extend my provision. These blessings that I have, the bounties of you, expand them for me, increase them for me. Wa sihhatan fil jism, and Allah give me in my body health and well-being. Salamat is another word. So we see that salamat and health is very important, that we are asking Allah for it, and Imams are asking for it. So it shows that it's so critical to have a healthy body. When you look at Quran, there's an ayah, وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Quran said, don't forget your share of this dunya. Dunya is not all evil, it's not all good. It depends. It's a neutral blessing. Depending how you're going to utilize it, how you're going to use it, it could become very, very good, become a reason of salvation. Again, depending on the purpose and the methodology and the ultimate reason of how we use and acquire dunya, could be the reason of our damnation. Depends. So it's neutral. Imam alayhi salam, you look at Nahjul Balagha, it talks about how worthless dunya is, how treacherous and at sometimes deceiving dunya could be, this life could be, the materialistic gain could be. But at the same time, in other tradition, we see they talk about this dunya to be a form, to be a blessing, to be one of the form of Allah's kindness and mercy to mankind. It depends. So the ayah said, don't forget your nasib, your share, what was given to you from this dunya. And then Imam Ali alayhi salam under this ayah to explain what nasib of dunya is. Right? What we talk about. Salamun alaykum. Let's recite a salawat. Thank you. Go ahead.
I made a small rock collection.
Thank you so much.
I found in the garden.
All of them for me?
Yes, you can keep.
Let me have one of them. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's recite another salawat. Allah Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So, وَلَا تَنْسِ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا, it refers to this concept that Imam Ali alayhi salam said, what Allah means by your nasib, your share of this dunya, is صحتك وقوتك وشبابك, is your health, is your strength, is your youth. These are your nasib of this dunya. These are what you can acquire from this dunya. So we cannot ignore it. These are something that we have to take care of and we have to appreciate, including your health, including your well-being and salamat. So, and at the same time, the hadith says, is by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ni'matan makfuratan. There are two ni'mah, two blessing of God that is being ignored and people are most ungrateful to them. Kufran and ni'mat is when you're ungrateful. What are the twos? Rasulullah says, Prophet says, number one, as-sihha. One is your health, your well-being. And second, wal-faragh, is when you have free time, when you have available time. People who have free time, they are complaining about boredom. I'm bored, I don't know what to do. And those who have a lot of things to do, they say, I'm overwhelmed, there's too much, I wish I had some time to scratch my head, I cannot do anything. So faragh and siha are the two blessings that Prophet said that the people usually ungrateful. Why? Because we don't appreciate them until we lose them. It's not like other blessing that if you don't have it, you can somehow replace it. Once they're gone, they're gone. You either have free time or you're occupied. You are either there's kind of a 1 and 0 like computer language. It's binary. You either in this state or another. You have health or you don't have it. So in the teaching of Islam, it is important to focus on health. And one of the most obvious statement of the Prophet is that al-mu'min al-qawi ahabbu ila Allah min al-mu'min al-dha'if. A strong mu'min, believer, before God is better. Allah loves that strong mu'min better than a weak mu'min. So if you have two people who are believers, one of them is qawi, strong, and we're referring to physical strength as well. That person is most beloved to Allah than the weak one. And when you look at the prophets of God, physically, they're all, if you look at the stories of them, they're known for that. Right? They're known for that strength. Even those prophets that we look at them and we think they were madloom in a sense that they were not that maybe strong to defend themselves, their forgiveness was not due to their weakness. If Jesus was known to forgive people who were abusing him, it wasn't because he was physically weak. It was because he chose to forgive. The same way when you look at Prophet, when you look at Imam Ali, if they forgave people, was not because they didn't have another choice. They were so weak that they had no choice. They couldn't retaliate. It wasn't because of weakness that they didn't retaliate. It was because of their iman, because of their great tolerance, threshold that they had. They forgive people. So what about health? What are we going to say about health from Islamic point of view? So the first thing that I just mentioned with these verses and with the tradition is that health is a gift and it has to be preserved. We have to ask for it and we have to maintain it. Like everything else that is worthy of our time and attention, our health is also worthy of our time and attention. How to do that? That's the question. How to maintain health from the Islamic point of view? The first one from the Islamic point of view, it refers to what we consume, our diet. The famous verse in Quran is فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانِ إِلَىٰ طَعَامِهِ. A man must look and consider their food, whatever they're consuming. There are multiple levels for it. In the tradition said, it's not just only your, table spread or your food. It's also about your what you're listening to, your cognitive food, your spiritual food. You have to also consider what are you consuming. So it's not just food of the body, it's also food of the soul. But it's also about food of the body. So in Islam it's about food. The tradition has been mentioned that we have to make sure we eat healthy. And we have that the stomach is the source of all diseases, is the center of all calamities. رأس كل داء. And that's why in Islam, imbalance in eating, if those who are overeating is being condemned in Islam, and those who are not eating enough and they are somehow starving themselves also being criticized. So that's why in Islam it's forbidden for people to fast 2 consecutive days. You cannot just fast today and don't eat anything in iftar and just go to the second day. It's forbidden. Allah said from this time to this time you fast at that time. It's recommended to do suhoor, it's recommended to do iftar in the right way. Avoid overeating, overconsumption, but you have to. So Islam is against both extreme. Again, going back to our last week, even in eating and diet, overeating, undereating, both is criticized. So Quran said you have to look at what you eat. Consider it. And then when you look at what Allah encourages people to eat in Quran and later on in tradition, is highly focused on vegetables and fruits. When Allah talks about the food of the heaven, the word that Allah uses is fawakih. Fawakih is plural of fruits. And then after fawakih, Allah mentioned meat. In this case, specifically white meat. وَلَحْمُ طَيْرٍ مِمَّا يَشْتَهُونَ. And in heaven, the heavenly food are fruits, and the white meat, in this case, whatever they desire. But the one we have that Allah refers to, Rumman, which is pomegranate. There are verses that Allah specifically talk about apple, talks about grapes. So there is an emphasis on that. And in tradition, again, as I said, not from a dietitian point of view, this is not a MD, perspective. We're talking from the tradition point of view. Islamically, it's important to eat healthy. Greenery is important. We have that when Imam alayhi salam, Imam Rida alayhi salam was sitting, and then he looked at the table spread, the ma'idah, sufra, and he said there was no green, this is called vegetable, the green vegetable. There was nothing on the table spread. And Imam said, and there should be something green, some kind of vegetable in this. So there was emphasis on it. What kind of vegetable? Again, the tradition goes a lot. They talk about, the benefit and all that, and that's not the topic I want to discuss. It's rather talking about the importance of healthy diet. Which again, even today, even dietitian, you don't have to be an expert, they will tell you, junk food are foods that they're low in nutrition, and good foods, or let's call them rich foods, power foods, are vegetable and greens, right? And this is agreed upon by all dietitians, that we need more vegetables in our diet. Especially since we have fast food, we have all these junk foods in our diet and our children's diet, right? What our children have for breakfast? Cereal. What is cereal made of? Sugar, microfiber. Again, there is a microfiber. I don't know if it is. Is there any fiber in it or not? Again, I did not go against any of them, but just focusing on our diet to be something that we can quickly make. Our lifestyle is a fast and rush, ajala lifestyle, so we try to find somehow to catch up with the speed. So diet is important. That's number one. Even when we go before the child can eat, the most important diet in a child's life is mother's milk. The ayah recited from Surah Luqman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about it. وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ. We advise man toward their parents, to care for them, to honor them. حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ وَهْنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ. And then refers to the pregnancy time, that how difficult it was for a mother to carry the child. That causes weakness on the body, pressure on the mother, weakness upon weakness. It refers to an extreme challenge that pregnancy is for the mother. In this case, mother. And then Allah continued, وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ. And then nursing, weaning the child for 2 years. The Quran point of view is that nursing the child with the mother, specifically referring to the natural milk of the mother. Not the, baby formula and all that. Again, we're not talking from a doctor point of view. Please don't consider this a substitute for a doctor. Is Islam talking about the importance of something that mother can provide for the child? For 2 years, Islam says. That is also very important for the well-being of a child. There are some studies talking about the benefit of the mother and how nursing is beneficial to the child. I leave that to the expert to talk about it. I will focus on just the Islamic tradition that we have. The tradition from Prophet, from Imam Sadiq said that there is no food as nutritious, and the word that they use is barakah, blessing and barakah. No food has the barakah for a child equal to the mother's milk for the child, nursing of the mother to the child. What is the reward of a mother who's nursing a child? The hadith said if a mother nurses a child, is equivalent of freeing 70 slaves in the cause of Allah. It's so important that we have that the hadith narrated from Prophet, that when a mother is done with nursing the child, after basically the child moves on to food, that time Allah will say to the mother, the angels will say to the mother, go start like a new person. Like, we have when you go to Hajj, it's like kawaladatka ummuk, that you were just born from your mother. A mother, when is done with the nursing of the child, the angels say, you have a new beginning. You have a clean slate to start. That's the thawab and the reward of nursing the child. So these are the compensation that Allah makes. Even further than that, how important nursing of a child is. In Islam, we have tradition that a mother is permissible to nurse a child and do her salat and namaz at the same time. Somebody asked Imam alayhi salam, is it permissible for a mother, the child is crying, is it permissible that the mother who's in the middle of the salat to nurse the child? They said yes. As she's sitting in her tashahhud in the middle of the salat, she can pick up the baby and nurse the child. So diet of the child is important, specifically from the moment that is born. After nursing, again, vegetable and fruits. The second one, and again, I will have to continue more on this inshallah. The second one is about physical activity of the child. We call that sports, exercising, whatever you refer to it. As a child, it is important. That's also about the sihha, that's about the health of the child. What are some of the examples in Quran that the sihha and the well-being of a child has to be through exercise? Again, iPads, TVs, this stationary lifestyle did not help our children in any way. And if you look at the contemporary studies about raising children, they will tell you that watching too much TV, too much screen time is not good. So it's not just that Muslims or people who are very traditional, those who are not modern are saying it. No, even the most modern approach toward child upbringing and raising children, they will tell you that too much stationary position, sitting for a long time, watching a lot of stuff on screens is not good. It's not good for the child. On the other hand, physical activity is good for the child. How we have that Islam look at the physical activity? The tradition specifically focuses on importance of children playing, just going, engaging, playing games, competition, games, whatever it is. The tradition, the Prophet said, teach your children two things. One is swimming. It's highly recommended in Islam to teach your children swimming. Second is archery. These are the sports of the time. These were common. That has a lot of benefit. Even today, the benefits that there are for swimming, again, there's no need for me to repeat everything. But just encouraging your children to play. Physically keep them active. In Islam is highly recommended. An example is a story of Yusuf and Yaqub. You know, brothers of Yaqub, they tried to take Yusuf with them multiple times, but Yaqub refused. Until they said one thing and Yaqub agreed. What they said? They said, "Oh Father," this is the translation of the verse. "Oh Father, let us take Yusuf with us and we will, take him with us to play. Yarta' wa yal'ab." We're taking these animals, for grazing, and I will also take Yusuf with us. He will play, he will just run around. And Yaqub alayhi salam agreed. That's how important it is to let children play. exercise, walk, run. Another one is that when they came back without Yusuf, the excuse they used was what? They said, we left Yusuf عند متاعنا. We left Yusuf by our luggage, by our stuff. And nasbiq, we were competing, we were playing ourselves. We were older, so we were, some kind of competition going on between older brothers. That's how we were negligent of Yaqub, and the imaginary and made up wolf killed Yusuf. But that excuse, know that Yaqub alayhi salam is going to, they can make any lie. They already made a lie about a wolf eating Yaqub. But why they made a lie that we were doing competition or playing and all that? Because they know to their father, it's a good thing that you as young men, they are playing, you're competing, you're exercising, whatever you're doing, Yaqub, look at it as a positive thing. So in Islam, it's important to encourage your children. Even Yaqub alayhi salam would go to that extent. I will finish with one more example and leave, inshallah, the topic more. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he walked into Rasulullah walked into Hazrat Fatima's house. It was nighttime. And this is what exactly the riwayah said. Prophet walked in, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein were sitting. So Prophet told them, Hassan, Hussein, my beloved, wrestle each other. Wrestle each other. And they start wrestling. This is Prophet of God, and these are the master of the youth of paradise. And then Prophet became one of the audience, start cheering them. And he specifically was cheering Imam Hassan. Said, my son Hassan, go for it. Pick him up. He's wrestling, right? Defeat him, throw him on the ground. And then we have Hazrat Zahra walked in and saw that this scene that their grandpa is cheering, but only cheering one of them. So Hazrat Fatima said, Ya Rasulullah, my father, is it fair that you are cheering and kind of praising the older child? He is the older one. And Prophet said, my daughter, my beloved Fatima, do you want me to cheer Hussein when I can see Jibreel is the one cheering Hussein, as saying, Hussein, go for it. So I'm balancing it that way. It is a spiritual story, but there is that important part, which is about them being playful. And as a father, I'm not saying necessarily copy the same scenario, but it is important to not just say, okay, my son, today is off, whatever it is. My son, sit down with me and read Quran. My son, sit down with me and do this. It's all about sitting together as a father, as a mother. That's not the way to go. We need to encourage that part of the day, part of the routine is to exercise. Part of their day is to exercise with you. Take them to the park. Take them to swings, slides, whatever it is. Please don't take them for a walk. They're children. Keep that in mind, that don't expect them to exercise the way you do. They should play yal'ab for a child at a young age. Yal'ab is a play. Don't say, okay, let's go do this play with me and I'm going to go jumping jack. Keep that in mind. That physical activity has to be suitable for the child as well. So inshallah, that's enough for tonight. And the continuation of the topic of tarbiyah, if I can summarize it in a minute what we said tonight. One point I made was about the importance of taking care of yourself if you want to take care of your family. So we have to pay attention to our tarbiyah, to nafs, our own well-being, before putting any effort for the child. Then we started on the physical, jism tarbiyah, the tarbiyatul jism. In Farsi, it's tarbiyat badani. It's a beautiful word, but it actually needs a bit of, more than just throwing a ball in front of the child and they're chasing it. It's about, as I mentioned, about their diet, about they eat. It's about their nursing period, and also it's about how to keep them active. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the honor of Prophet, by the honor of his family, Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, grant us a tawfiq of finding the true worth of our existence, which is ultimate reason that we're here, is to find our connection, relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to raise children who are also in love with their Creator, children who are in love with their fellow human beings, as Imam Ali alayhi salam said, those who are either their brother in faith or their equal in their humanity, inshallah. Let's finish with a salam to our 9th Imam. As our brother Dr. Shaghi mentioned, moon was sighted in San Diego and Houston tonight. So tomorrow, it's the first day of month of Dhul Hijjah. Eid al-Adha will be Tuesday of next week on July 20th. And inshallah, for programs, follow our emails and you will inshallah receive the latest updates about what programs we will have for Eid al-Adha, for Eid al-Ghadir. There are inshallah programs in planning that you will receive the notifications and receive inshallah the email, weekly email. So once again, if you want to get a day off for the day of Eid for your children, to make it a noticeable day of Eid, one way you can teach children that is Eid is to be with them, to celebrate with them. When you see children are so excited about holidays, they don't know the story behind what Christmas is about. They're children. They don't have the history. It's not that for them Eid is not important. One reason is because there is that vibe. Is a celebration vibe. People are happy. People are, staying at home. They have a breakfast together. So you make a difference with your presence next to your children. So alhamdulillah, Eid al-Adha is good that you have 10 days ahead of time notice to do your planning for. Eid al-Fitr is a bit difficult because of moon sighting. Sometimes, although sometimes even Eid al-Fitr, we know ahead of time what would be probably the day of Eid, as we knew this year about Eid al-Fitr. But Eid al-Adha, inshallah, will be on July 20th, Tuesday of next week. Keep us inshallah in your du'as. Let's say a salam to our 9th Imam, Imam Muhammad al-Taqi al-Jawad alayhi salam. And then after my salam, we will listen to respected brother Hajjai Tahirian for his inshallah lamentation and musibah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alayka ya Muhammad ibn Ali ayyuha at-taqiyul jawad ya ibn Rasulillah يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجه
السلام عليك يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها التقي الجواد يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا يا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا آقا جانم ای مرگ مدد کن که من زار بمیرم ای مرگ مدد کن که من زار بمیرم ای زر خلاصم کن بگذار بمیرم بگذار در این خانه که غم خانه من بود تنها قریب از ستم یار بمیرم بگذار که با سوز درون لب عطشان چه حالی داره امام جواد میگن اون ملعونه در حجره رو بس بعد از اینکه زهر به آقا داد کنیزا رو صدا زد گفت بیاین هله کنید صدا کنید کسی ناله های امام جواد رو متوجه نشه بگذار که با سوز درون نو لب عطشان یک بار زنم ناله و 100 بار بمیرم آقا امام رضا امشب شما هم عزادار امام جوادی مولای من بگذار که چون فاطمه هنگام جوانی آقا امام جواد فقط 25 سال از عمر مبارکشون گذشته بود عین مادرش فاطمه جوون از دنیا بگذار که چون فاطمه هنگام جوانی در خانه در بسته خود زار بمیرم میدونم وقت گذشته میدونم خسته ایم میدونم دیگه آخر شبه ولی خب یکی که این امام ها حق گردن ما دارن یه چند دقیقه همونجور که نشستین با اون دستای با معرفتتون که تو تمام مراسم های عزاداری به سینه‌تون میزنین با ادب یه چند لحظه هم عزاداری کنیم و انشالله همه رو به خدای بزرگ بسپاریم دیده عالم گشته بارانی، دیده عالم گشته بارانی، سینه چون دریا گشته طوفانی، سینه چون دریا گشته طوفانی، از غم اجر جواد آل طاها، از غم اجر جواد آل طاها، شیعه را باشد بلم این ذکر و آوا. وای از این غم، وای از این غم، وای از این غم، یه بار دیگه، وای از این غم، وای از این غم، وای از این غم، وای از این غم. هجره مولا قتلگاهش شد، هجره مولا شد، از جفا نیلی روی ماهش شد، در بار زندگی چون گل خزان شد، قامت چون سرو آن مولا کمان شد، قامت چون سرو آن مولا کمان شد. وای از این غم، وای از این غم، وای از این غم، وای از این غم، وای از این غم. در دم آخر چون حسین عطشان، در دم آخر چون حسین عطشان، بی کس و تنها شد به حق مهمان، پیش چشمان جواد آمد هویدا، کربلا و قتلگاه و یاد مولا، کربلا و قتلگاه و یاد مولا. وای از این غم، وای از این غم، وای از این غم. صلی الله علیک یا مولا یا ابا عبدالله یا آقا جان امام جواد، شما جگر سود از شربتی که به شما دادم مولا، اما دلا بسوزه برای اون جگری که در گودان قتلگاه از تشنگی میسوزد. صلی الله علیک یا مظلوم یا ابا عبدالله. یه دست توسلی آقامون امام جواد، شفای همه مرضا، آمرزش اموات جمع حاضر، اونایی که تو این مسجد بودن با ما زمزمه می کردن. السلام علیک یا ابا جعفر یا محمد ابن علی ایها التقی الجواد یا ابن رسول الله یا حجت الله علی خلقه یا سیدنا و مولانا انا توجهنا و استشفعنا و توسلنا بك الى الله و قدمناك بین یدی حاجاتنا یا وجیها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله یا وجیها عند الله اشفع لنا. بیا دست دعا بالا بگیریم، میان پاکبازان جا بگیریم، برای کل بیماران اسلام شفا از حضرت زهرا بگیریم. یا وجیهة عند الله اشفعی لنا الله یا وجیهة عند الله اشفعی لنا عند الله. السلام علیک یا ابا عبدالله، السلام علیک یا ابن رسول الله، السلام علیک یا ابن امیر المؤمنین و ابن سید الوسیع و رحمت الله و برکاته. صلی الله علیک یا مولا یا قریب الغرباء، السلام علیک یا معین الضعفاء والفقراء، السلطان ابو الحسن علی ابن موسی الرضا و رحمت الله و برکاته. صلی الله علیک یا مولا یا صاحب الزمان، السلام علیک یا شریک القرآن، السلام علیک یا امام الانس والجان، عجل الله تعالی فرجه جمیعا و رحمت الله و برکاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. والعصر ان الانسان لفی خسر الا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. شادی روی همه انبار، پدر مادرمون، اموات جنازه، آقا موسوی، آقا روحانی، آقای شمس، همه عزیزان. یادم نی خدا شاهده بخوام یکی یکی نام ببرم، ولی خب این سه تا همه جلو چشم من. شادی روحشون، رحم الله من یقرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات.